It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you along. Today is the 20th of December, 5 days till Christmas. Hello! Welcome to those of you who are joining me on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Play, Google Plus, Player FM, also your Alexa. If you want to listen to the show every day, you can just go to Alexa and say, Alexa, play the Rob Carson Show podcast. She'll play the latest edition of the show. Anyway, glad to have you here, guys. Also, Liberty One viewers, Liberty One, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Been a really busy last few weeks. I've been doing mornings at WYAY in Atlanta from 5 to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, and then I've been doing evenings at KFYI in Phoenix. Couldn't do this the rest of my life. It's insane. But I also do this, and this is actually pretty easy because I really, really enjoy it. And I love doing talk radio too. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got plenty of stuff to get to as the show progresses here. 1964 holiday classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You've seen that, right? It's from before I was born. Barely. Apparently, you can you have a chance to snag several of the puppets from the original Rankin Bass TV special. Okay, Rudolph and Santa puppets. You want to know what they're asking for them on eBay? Would you believe $10 million? $10 million. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure. Whatever. $10 million. Good luck with that. Okay. The guy who owns them, Peter Lutrerio, the owner of them, is saying, I just want to see what the market will bear. No one's going to pay $10 million. He's done, not even the museum or the Smithsonian. The auction does not make an offer, does offer a make an offer option, so the pair could conceivably sell for less. Apparently, he had the puppets restored a few years ago. His friend sold Santa and Rudolph to Lutrerio in 2010. Said the pieces brought back childhood memories in a 2015 interview. Well, yeah, it does, of course. I don't know where this is going to... You wouldn't be surprised if he got, I don't know, $10,000. Who the hell knows? You know what doesn't cost very much? Membership to Liberty One TV. Have you considered joining? I wish you would. All it is 33 cents a day, $10 a month. $99 a year. $99 a year. There you go. Join. Because we've got a lot of folks on here. The thing is growing. A lot of people are watching. My show, get about 400,000 views per month. Love to see 1 million. It'd be pretty cool. So if you join, we'd really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my other sponsor is Dots Pretzels. Dots Homestyle Pretzels. They are absolutely incredible. The best pretzels you've ever had in your life. And once you start eating them, you can't stop. They are that good. They're just that good. You got to get them. Now, I live in the Midwest. I live in Kansas City area, and they're available at Ace Hardware, right by the counter. There are some other places, too. I just have an Ace right near me. But you can order them online, too. Okay? The website is really easy to find. It is just dotspretzels.com, dotspretzels.com. So it looks like the Republicans have passed a tax overhaul bill. Democrat Party has done its very best to make it seem like it's the end of the world because people get to keep their own money. Not the end of the world. And there's a very good chance you're going to have your taxes go down unless you are rich, because you're going to start having to pay more eventually. But most everyone, the first few years of this tax bill, are going to be able to keep their money. Nancy Pelosi held a protest. She's doing a protest. This is funny. This is so fantastic. She says she's going to attend a protest in the Capitol yesterday to kind of rally some support for the Democrat position on this, which is, hell no, we're not going to do anything you want, blah, blah, blah. All right? Nobody showed up. And so she stiffed her own protest. Here's the audio.
Behind me. But, Allie, these protests have never been like what we saw with the healthcare law. This particular protest...
This is MSNBC, by the way.
...protest was supposed to start at 3, supposed to feature Nancy Pelosi, and supposed to have hundreds of people, and none of those things are going to end up being true. So there has been this protest effort to stop this and slow it down, but it is increasingly likely that the passage of this tax bill is more or less a foregone conclusion at this point, as long as there's not some other surprise defection here in the next 24 hours.
All right. Yeah, it's passed. It's done. Nancy, you're not a part of history here. You are a fearmonger. The Democrat Party is known for not wanting people to keep more of their money. It's a joke. Nancy, you're a joke. There were some people in the stands in the viewing area in the House of Representatives. They were protesting yesterday. They got tossed. The left-wing protesters who said, kill the bill, don't kill us. That's what one protester said. It's amazing that, and they're probably, these people are probably hired protesters. They're probably SEIU members, something like that. You're fired, another one said. We vote, we will remember you. You starve America with this bill. You starve us all. You starve us all by letting people keep their money. Doesn't make any sense. By the way, people don't starve in America. People do not starve in America unless they're intentionally starving themselves or it's an abusive situation. But people, by and large, don't starve in America. Here's a little bit from the protest yesterday in the House of Representatives.
To help hardworking Americans who have been left behind for too long.
Yeah.
Today, we are giving the people of this country their money back.
There you go.
This is their money after all.
You're lying.
Mr. Chairman, or Speaker of the House is not in order.
The chair notes a contravention of the law and against the rules of the House. The Sergeant at Arms will identify the person or persons responsible and have them escorted from the House chamber before proceedings will resume.
They don't mess around.
The chair will also remind all persons in the gallery that they are here as guests of the House and that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of the proceedings in the House are in violation of the rules of the House.
Sorry, there's no room for incivility in the room. There's no room for it. You cannot be there. You cannot do that. Bye-bye. You anarchist, leftist, socialist, POS. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thus far, this year, Donald Trump is winning. Despite the media onslaught, 91% of his coverage by the news media is negative. CNN this morning, he has his approval rating at 35%. It's a CNN poll, of course. But he's winning. He's winning, kids. The economy's rocking. GDP is up 3.3% last quarter, probably over 4% this quarter. Things are very good for a lot of people. Hispanic unemployment at an all-time low. All-time for the last 45 years it has been kept track of. African-American unemployment at a 20-year low. Stock market roaring. Housing starts through the ceiling. Consumer confidence, woo! Retail sales, kaboom! Make America great again, folks. Make America great. So yesterday, actually, you know what I'm going to do next? I want to talk about this story out of Alabama. There was a TV reporter live at the Doug Jones victory party. Doug Jones, obviously, against Roy Moore for the Senate seat that was open there. Special election. And apparently somebody there hinted at voter fraud. A Democrat who was there hinted that people had been brought in. He came in to vote, and they got the victory. Attorney General is looking into this right now. Here is the audio from that night at the Doug Jones victory party.
As we were waiting for Jones to take the stage to give his victory speech, I interviewed a number of jubilant supporters, getting their reaction to the big win.
Listen to this.
But it was this man's comments that went viral.
Why are you excited to see this victory?
Because we came here all the way from different parts of the country as part of our fellowship, and all of us pitched in to vote and canvass together, and we got our boy elected.
Secretary of State John Merrill says he's received hundreds of complaints from concerned citizens about that brief interview.
Well, it's very disconcerting when someone who is not from Alabama expresses the fact that they had participated in our election. And so now it's incumbent on us to try to identify this young man to see what kind of role he played if he simply played a canvassing role, if he was a part of a process that went out and tried to register voters, or if he himself actually became a registered voter.
Some people believe the interview should be considered proof of voter fraud.
We don't have any evidence of people doing that. Our numbers would not indicate that that has happened. But when we have somebody that's recorded and documented on television saying that they voted, and that's what he said, then we've got to get to the bottom of that.
Yes, we do. This is not uncommon for Democrats. It's not uncommon at all. In 2012 in Cincinnati, I had a friend who worked there. He said that they were bringing in people, Democrats were bringing in busloads of people, giving them bags of groceries, free pizza, soda, so they'd vote Democrat. They'd even show them how to fill out the ballot in favor of the Democrat candidate. It's happened all over the country. Philadelphia in 2008 with Black Panther standing outside of a polling place. Eric Holder never did a damn thing about that. Does it surprise you that Democrats cheat? Doesn't surprise me. Not one little bit, y'all. Not one little bit. So they're looking for this guy. And Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill is looking into the matter. We'll see. We will see. Make no mistake. I mean, Roy Moore sucked. He's a terrible candidate. He's a turd. He's a turd. But got to look into these things. Listen to this. In a second, I'm going to tell you, a woman gave birth to a 24-year-old. Yeah. I'm going to share the details on that in a second. Comedy Central abruptly axed T.J. Miller's television series, The Gorburger Show, after an ex-classmate and lover alleged that she was sexually assaulted. Okay, this is T.J. Miller. He was the bartender friend of Deadpool, and, he's done a lot of stuff. I thought he was pretty good in Deadpool. But on 2 occasions, she says Miller beat her and sexually assaulted her, including punching her in the face during sex and raping her with a beer bottle. The claims have been whispered about in the comedy world since the 36-year-old Miller rose to fame as a stand-up comic after graduating in 2003. Tuesday marks the first time the victims, referred to as Sarah, told her story to a news outlet. Just hours after the bombshell went public, Comedy Central announced their decision to cut the show. This is bullshit, guys. This may have happened, and it may not have happened. But right now, this is what Mika Brzezinski said this yesterday about the hashtag #MeToo movement. Listen carefully to this.
It's going to be complicated, but I think women feel that they are maligned and mistreated through the process, and therefore they're afraid to step forward. So we need to look at the process. But right now, any woman can say anything, and a man's career is ruined.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of women can say things that are true, and their career should be ruined.
By the way,
but the problem is
by the way, hold on.
That any woman can say anything, and that's it. It's over. Is that how we're running businesses now?
Now, this woman has not brought charges in a court of law. She has not presented any evidence. She has said this happened. This man deserves some sort of due process. There's none of that happening. A former girlfriend who asked not to be named, 2001 George Washington University. All she had to do was say something about it. And he's done. He's done. I think it's sickening. Another thing that I find sickening, there's a new website called Rotten Apples. It's like Rotten Tomatoes. But what it does is it tells you if there's anybody on the cast who has been accused of sexual misconduct. This is really, this is a witch hunt beyond belief. The site, launched a couple weeks ago, went viral. Essentially, an online database pinpoints which films and TV shows are associated with people who have been accused of sexual misconduct. Type a title into this clean, user-friendly interface, and Rotten Apples will tell you whether the film is fresh or rotten. If it's rotten, it'll highlight the names of people involved in the project who have been accused of sexual misconduct, which will link to a credible report about that person. So even if you're working on the cast of something, say, for instance, you were one of the other cast members for Usual Suspects and Kevin Spacey's on there, your film, your livelihood is a target. You are roped in with Kevin Spacey. I think it's sickening. I think it's absolutely sickening. This is where, and I warned you of this. I had a feeling the hashtag Me Too movement could go off the rails, and it is. It's gone off the rails. By the way, Megyn Kelly had a woman on her show on Monday who played victim. She was 24 years old when she worked at the Today Show. Matt Lauer sent her some texts, I guess. And ultimately, after a day or two of essentially sending flirtatious texts, she agreed to sleep with him. She, had sex with him in the office. But it has ruined her, and it is, as she has been scarred for life, apparently. That was consensual. She could have said no. She didn't. She chose to. It was her decision. You're not a victim. Why in the hell are you on the Megyn Kelly show? You're not a victim. She was shamed on the internet. People called her a whore. People called her a home wrecker. Well, Matt Lauer has already ruined his own home. He's made his bed and or his desk, I guess, and laid in it. By the way, this is the CNN poll. Trump's approval rating sank to 35%. That's a significant drop from the 45% approval rating that Trump had in March shortly after taking office. This, again, is CNN. Do you know who had a similar approval rating at the first year of his presidency? Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, folks. You know who has an approval rating right about that? Democrat? Hillary Clinton. 36%, a 5% fall from April, while her disapproval rating has soared to a new 61% high, bucking the trend of traditional presidential candidates gaining popularity after losing elections. You know why? She won't stop bitching about how she lost. And people are tired of her, and she's crooked, and she's awful. She's an awful person. All right. Can trees be racist? Can trees be racist? This is a story that I found this morning that I thought was troubling at best. Row of racist trees standing between an African-American neighborhood and a city golf course will be removed, local officials in Palm Springs, California, told neighborhood residents. On Sunday, Palm Springs Mayor Robert Moon told residents of the historically black Crosley Tract neighborhood that the city would remove the line of tamarisk trees and a chain-link fence that runs between the neighborhood and the Taquitz Creek golf course. The decision to remove the trees and the fence comes after neighborhood residents complained that the 50-foot-tall tamarisk trees, an invasive species that blocks views on both sides of the golf course and the San Jacinto Mountains, have been lowering property values for decades. Okay, I can see that if that's the case. Additionally, many of the neighborhood residents believe that the tamarisk trees were planted in the 60s as a way to purposely segregate the African-American Crosley Tract residents from the predominantly wealthy white golf players. Crosley Tract was founded in 1956 by Palm Springs' first African-American resident, Lawrence Crosley, at a time when black people who worked in Palm Springs were banned from living in the city. Yeah, that's racist. 10-acre Crosley Tract was intended to be a place where the black families denied housing within the city limits could live. The tract has been incorporated into Palm Springs. So we got all that. It's a nice, lovely place to live, probably very expensive to live. Ground was broken on the golf course in 1958. The trees were planted in the mid-60s. They were not planted anywhere else on the course. So they're going to take down the trees. You'll be able to see the mountains, and your house is going to be beaten, and your windows are going to be broken with golf balls now. They're racist trees. This is an interesting thing because, we have a moving target. 1 minute it's names on university campuses, Confederate monuments, and then Confederate schools named after Robert E. Lee got to be changed. Streets named after Confederate generals or whatever got to be changed. Fine, got it. Now it's racist trees. But whatever. Woman gave birth to a 24-year-old. Tennessee couple has welcomed a baby girl who grew from the longest frozen embryo to ever result in a birth. Benjamin and Tina Gibson's daughter, Emma Wren, weighed 6 pounds 8 ounces when she came into the world November 25th. Prior to being transferred into Tina's uterus at the uterus, the National Embryo Donation Center in Knoxville this year, the embryo Emma grew from had been cryopreserved for more than 24 years. This is unreal. According to research staff at the University of Tennessee, Preston Medical Library, that makes her the all-time record holder for the longest frozen embryo to result in birth. 24 years. This is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I think the first test tube baby, remember that? That was in the early 90s, wasn't it? It was in the early 90s. This is just crazy. It's deeply moving and highly rewarding to see that embryos frozen 24 and a half years ago using the old early cryopreservation techniques of slow freezing on one day, day one of development, the pronuclear stage can result in 100% survival of the embryos with a 100% continued proper development to the day 3 embryo stage. That's according to lab director Carol Sommerfeld. This is Jurassic Park for humans, right? By the way, the woman who had the baby, she was 2.5 when the embryo was frozen. Fantastic. Parents decided to pull their kids out of school when they heard that Ivanka Trump was going to be at their high school. This is, to me, the ultimate just selfish, a-holish thing that a parent could do. Ivanka Trump comes to this high school. It's called Norwalk Early College Academy. This happened on Monday. And some of the moms, I guess, it could be dads, I'm not sure, but I guess a few people decided they were very offended because they don't support Donald Trump. So Ivanka Trump is there. She's there with IBM CEO Jenny Romney, two very successful women. And several parents, after they heard that Ivanka Trump was in the school, drove to the school to pull their kids out. I think this is just ridiculous. And these are the kids who eventually, if you treat your kids like this their entire lives, your daughter will end up in a Girls Gone Wild video their first freshman year in school, and your son will end up passed out drunk after doing beer bongs on the front yard of his fraternity. Here's a story from News 12 in Connecticut about. Oops, no, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on. That's different. Here it is. This is the story from News 12 in Connecticut.
Well, Eric, as you can imagine, for security reasons, this was all kept pretty quiet. Ivanka Trump met with several students here at the high school in the Norwalk Early College Academy to talk about the importance of career education. Now, we caught a glimpse of the advisor to the president as she left Norwalk High School today, but some parents who don't support the president's views pulled their kids out of school when they heard about the visit and claimed they were given very little information about it.
This should have been brought to our attention, although I do understand security reasons. You know, we might not have been able to have been told ahead of time, but I think we should have had the choice to whether to send our child to school or keep them home.
I think it's selfish. I think it's a-holish. I think it's purely partisan. It is a parent attempting to control everything the kid is exposed to, and it's shameful. If Barack Obama was at my daughter's elementary school, I'd say, okay, fine. You know, there are some people, obviously, there might be some controversy. Neo-Nazi's going to be here at lunch on Tuesday. No, that's not good. But this is a successful woman, a smart woman, a beautiful woman. She's there with the CEO. You don't get opportunities like that very often, and it's inspirational and it's life-changing. And this mother, because of her anal retentiveness, chose to take her kid from the school. I think it's ridiculous. Washington Redskin player Sia Cravens pulled over for speeding towards the end of November, now claiming he was racially profiled by police. He was going 39 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Ended up with like 4 or 5 police cars on the scene. The police officer said he smelled like pot, even though he didn't smell pot, and there was no pot in the car. Here he is. This is his Facebook video right after the event happened, with the police still there.
Yo, I just got pulled over by the police, bro. Look at these. Let me show you. They got squad cars out here, man. They got squad cars out here. Right here. I'm at the Ashburn Shopping Plaza. I came to get some bread for my shrimp steak, liquor, and pasta. And
Sounds
these
good.
dudes came over here tripping, pulled me over. I said I was going 39 and a 35. Pulled me over out in the parking lot of the store. I got out my car. This man ran up on me, said, "Stay in your car." bro. Said, stay in your car. Ran up on me. I said, what? Bro, pulled me out the car and said, calm down. Started pushing me up against the whip. Put cuffs on my hands. Like, yo. And then the kid thought he was going to find some. Well, and then accused me. Yeah, both of you guys smell like weed. You know. Oh, get out the car. Accuses me of smelling like weed. This man opened my door and was just saying that I smelled like weed. Came to my car. Pulled me out. Hoping that he finds something. Put me in the back of the squad car right there. Handcuffs on. All that. Couldn't even fit in that bitch, bro. It's my first time having cuffs. Cuffed up on my wrist for no reason. Bro tried to search my car. Not a fucking thing. Couldn't find nothing. Could not find nothing, bro. Really searched my car hoping to find something. Couldn't find nothing. It's a brand new car. What's up?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if he was belligerent. I don't know if he was threatening. He apparently he was pulled over for speeding in a school zone, cited for having an illegal tint on his car windows. I'm hoping that there's some sort of a body cam video from the police officer here. The Loudoun County Police Department says that the traffic stop was not a case of racial profiling. Additionally, they had not received any formal complaints regarding this matter, and it would be inappropriate for comment regarding this. We'll see what happens. Could have been. I was talking this morning on WIY in Atlanta. I had people call up, and there were 4 police cars there for this. And I had several people say they want to get witnesses there. If the guy is being belligerent, they want to have witnesses so there are other officers there who can corroborate the story. How would you feel if your third grader was told by a substitute teacher that Santa Clauses and elves aren't real? Parents and students at an Ohio elementary school received the news. This is just unbelievable. I think she just cracked, to be quite honest. Told the students during a class at Sterling Elementary School in Mentor, Ohio. This is according to a mom, Ashley Koffenauer. She immediately just broke into tears. She said the teacher told her that Santa Claus isn't real, Christmas isn't real, and Christmas elves aren't real. It was all made up. I was angry. I was heartbroken. I want to know why she felt it was okay to shatter a childhood. Anybody's childhood. I don't know. It's just kind of a dick move. Sounds like she kind of just lost it, right? School district released a statement saying the substitute's comments were in poor taste and she's not welcome at the school anymore. Similar incident took place in 2015 in a Massachusetts elementary school where a substitute teacher got on her soapbox and did the same thing. And she needs to up her meds. I think she needs to up her meds. We're stressed out. 8 in 10 Americans are afflicted by stress. 8 in 10 Americans say they frequently, 44% of the time, or sometimes 35% encounter stress in their daily lives. 17% say they rarely feel stress. 4% say they never do. Life is stress, guys. Life is stress. Although stress is common, just 41% of U.S. adults say in answer to a different question that they lack the time they need to do the things they want. The majority, 59%, tend to think they do have enough time. Pressured about time pressures. Fewer Americans today, than from 2001 through 2007 said they lack sufficient time to get done what they want. Although 44% say this in 2004, statistically similar to today's 41%. 40% in 1994 experienced frequent stress. It's stress. We have stress. Stress. Life's not easy. Life's a bitch. Life is a bitch, folks. I experience stress every damn day. It is a part of the human condition. There's nothing you can do about stress. You can breathe. You can pray, meditate. There's really not a lot you can do about stress. I've experienced a lot of stress in my life. I've experienced to the point that I actually was physically ill because of it years ago. And I still go through stress, but I don't let it kill me. It almost did at one point. I'll share you the details on that in another show. In the meantime, I'm going to wrap things up, guys. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you'll share my podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Play, Google Plus, Player FM, Patreon, YouTube, and, of course, Alexa. Then also, if you would, please consider joining Liberty One TV. LibertyOneTV.com is a terrific site, and we got a lot of cool people on there. So join. I appreciate it. In the meantime, guys, God bless you. Have a glorious rest of your day. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.